Welcome to Quiz Cues. This is amazing. Are you ready to play Cluephoria? Today we're playing the 5th edition of Who Am I? Guess the 17 legendary figures from 3 clues plus a bonus. In this format, an additional visual clue is slowly revealed while the verbal clues are read. Question 1 is on its way. If you like these quizzes and want to see more, please subscribe. It encourages me to continuously create new content for your enjoyment. Thank you. Are you ready? Let's go! Who am I? The world never knew my true name, only a childhood nickname that meant playful and mischievous. I was a Powhatan woman who saved an English captain from execution and later married a tobacco planter named John Rolfe. I traveled to England, was presented to the king and queen, and died in a foreign land before I could return home. Pocahontas. Pocahontas was a 17th century Powhatan woman whose real name was Matawaka. Pocahontas was a childhood nickname meaning playful one. She famously intervened to save the life of John Smith at Jamestown before marrying the English tobacco planter John Rolfe and traveling to England, where she was presented to royalty but died at age 21 before she could return to her homeland. Who am I? I learned to cut stone beside my father before I ever asked my first question in the marketplace. I was an Athenian philosopher who taught Plato and was sentenced to death for corrupting the youth of my city. I drank a cup of poison rather than escape into exile, choosing to obey the laws that condemned me. Socrates. Socrates was a 5th century BC Athenian philosopher whose father, Sophroniscus, was a stonemason, and Socrates reportedly worked in the trade before devoting himself to philosophy. At his trial, he famously declared, "The unexamined life is not worth living," making it clear that he would never accept acquittal on the condition of silence. Who am I? I always carried 10 dimes in my pocket and was even buried with them. I was a kid from Hoboken who became one of the most celebrated entertainers of the century. The FBI kept a secret file on me because I did everything my way. Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra was a 20th century American singer and actor who always carried 10 dimes in his pocket after his son's kidnapping in 1963, so he would never run out while using a payphone during an emergency. J. Edgar Hoover's FBI maintained a secret dossier on him due to his alleged mob ties, his outspoken political activism, and friendship with JFK. Who am I? I gave a frozen island a false name of meadows and forests, simply because I needed more neighbors. I was a Norse explorer exiled from Iceland who founded the first European settlement in Greenland and fathered a famous son. My nickname came from my red hair and beard, and I was banished twice for killings before I found my new home. Erik the Red. Erik the Red was a 10th century Norse explorer and chieftain who founded the first enduring European settlement in Greenland. He deliberately named the ice-covered island Greenland to attract Icelandic settlers with a falsely appealing name, and his fiery red hair and beard earned him his enduring nickname. Who am I? I rescued stranded sailors from a shattered vessel, and the cargo I salvaged gave me the nickname Lucky. I was the son of a red-bearded explorer who founded a settlement on a frozen island, and I sailed farther west than any Norseman before me. I became the first European to set foot on a vast western continent, though history would forget my voyage for 500 years. Leif Erikson. Leif Erikson was a 10th to 11th century Norse explorer traditionally regarded as the first European to reach North America, nearly 500 years before Columbus. He earned his nickname Leif the Lucky after rescuing shipwrecked sailors and their cargo on a voyage to Greenland, and he was the son of Erik the Red, the fiery-haired founder of Greenland's first European settlement. Who am I? I learned to form spoken words by feeling the vibrations of other people's voices against my own skin. I was an Alabama-born woman whose determination forced universities to reconsider who deserved an education. Mark Twain befriended me and quietly arranged for Standard Oil executive Henry Rogers to pay for my schooling. Helen Keller. Helen Keller was a 20th century American author and activist who overcame deafness and blindness to become one of the most influential advocates for disability rights in history. Though Keller's speech was barely comprehensible, it was a profound personal triumph and revealed her indomitable will. Her greatest achievement was becoming the first deafblind person to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree in 1904. Who am I? I refuse to let age steal my youthful color, painting my hair with desert plant dye well past my 80th year. I was an Egyptian ruler whose 6-decade reign left monuments across the Nile. I built the great rock temples of Abu Simbel and fathered over 100 children during my 66 years on the throne. Ramses II. Ramses II was a 19th dynasty Egyptian pharaoh who famously dyed his graying hair with henna to maintain a youthful appearance into his 90s. The rock temples asserted Egyptian dominance and immortalized his divine status. His 100-plus children secured his dynastic succession and his reputation as Ramses the Great. Who am I? I wrote my greatest manifesto on a Caribbean island while hiding from the empire I would later dismantle. I was a South American revolutionary known as the Liberator, who freed 6 nations from Spanish rule. A country was named after me, though I died poor and disillusioned with what I had created. Simón Bolívar. Simón Bolívar was a 19th century Venezuelan military and political leader who wrote his famous Letter from Jamaica in 1815, while in exile on the island, outlining his vision for a united Latin America. The nation of Bolivia was named in his honor, though he died impoverished and disillusioned with the fractured republics that emerged from his dreams. Who am I? I spent my evenings playing jazz piano in small clubs long before anyone pointed a camera at me. I was a California-born performer who became one of the most enduring screen icons of my generation. I chose a tiny coastal town where I lived as the setting for my first film behind the camera. Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood is an American actor and director and was also an accomplished jazz pianist who composed scores for several of his own films. He made his directorial debut with the 1971 thriller Play Misty for Me, filming it in and around his adopted hometown of Carmel by the Sea, California. Who am I? I had a condition that produced periodic states of euphoria, which resulted in revelatory clarity and spiritual insight. I was a 19th century Russian whose novels explored the darkest corners of the human conscience. I once stood before a line of rifles in the snow, only to hear a rider shout my reprieve with seconds to spare. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Fyodor Dostoevsky was a 19th century Russian novelist whose works include Crime and Punishment. He suffered from epilepsy throughout his life and described his seizures as producing moments of transcendent euphoria and spiritual insight. In 1849, he survived a mock execution by firing squad in St. Petersburg when a courier arrived with a last-minute commutation from the Tsar. Who am I? I collected ancient claw fossils so unusual that scientists named a new species after me. I was a Virginia statesman who helped my colony break free from its mother country. I sold every book I owned to help restore a great national library after an enemy burned it down. Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson was the third president and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. He collected giant ground sloth fossils that scientists named Megalonyx jeffersoni in his honor. And after British troops burned the Capitol in 1814, he sold his personal library of nearly 6,500 volumes to restock the Library of Congress. Who am I? I built a city of books and mosques in the desert, inviting scholars from across the world to study there. I was a West African king, whose legendary wealth and holy pilgrimage to Mecca made me famous across 3 continents. I gave away so much gold in Cairo that I accidentally collapsed their economy for over a decade. Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa was the 14th century emperor of Mali, whose legendary wealth made him the richest individual in recorded history. He transformed Timbuktu into a global center of Islamic learning by building the Samkour University. During his 1324 pilgrimage to Mecca, he distributed so much gold in Cairo that he inadvertently crashed the regional economy for over a decade. Who am I? I once performed as a god on stage before my own court, wearing a costume of golden rays and diamonds. I was a French monarch whose 7-decade reign reshaped the arts, architecture, and borders of Europe. I turned my own waking, dressing, and sleeping into public ceremonies that my nobles fought to attend. Louis XIV. Louis XIV was the 17th, 18th century French monarch, whose 72-year reign ushered in the Great Century for France. He performed as the sun god Apollo in a court ballet at age 15, earning his enduring epithet. He transformed his daily waking and sleeping rituals at Versailles into elaborate public ceremonies that aristocrats competed to witness. Who am I? I walked everywhere in my city with my loyal Danish dog Brownt at my side. I was a French lawyer who sat on the committee that ruled during the Revolution's most violent days, when accusation alone could cost a life. I helped send a king and queen to the blade, and soon after the same blade found me. Maximilien Robespierre. Maximilien Robespierre was an 18th century French lawyer and revolutionary who led the Committee of Public Safety during the Reign of Terror. After helping ascend King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette to the guillotine, he himself was executed by the same device in 1794. Who am I? I ordered tropical island women to cover up, and their queen soon sent me back to sea. I was a Moroccan explorer who spent 30 years journeying from West Africa to China, covering approximately 75,000 miles. A famous Venetian traveler became a household name, though I traveled 3 times farther across the same world. Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta was a 14th century Moroccan explorer and scholar who served as a judge in the Maldives, where his attempts to enforce conservative dress codes led to his dismissal. His total travels covered roughly 3 times the ground of the more famous Venetian Marco Polo. Who am I? I believed a camera lens could reveal the soul more honestly than any painter's brush. I was an African American whose powerful voice challenged a nation to honor its founding promises. I sat for more portraits than almost any other person in my country during my lifetime. Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was a 19th century American abolitionist whose powerful autobiography and oratory reshaped the nation's conscience. He was an early advocate of photography as a tool for social justice and sat for over 160 portraits, making him the most photographed American of the 19th century. Who am I? I once danced for days until the sky showed me soldiers falling headfirst into dust, and I knew my people would prevail. After my wars ended, I traveled the world with a famous showman and his Wild West spectacle. I was a Lakota holy man who united the Sioux and led them to victory against Custer at the Little Bighorn. Sitting Bull. Sitting Bull was a 19th century Lakota holy man and political leader who experienced a prophetic Sundance vision in 1876. This vision showed soldiers falling upside down into camp, which preceded the victory at Little Bighorn. After his 1881 surrender, he went on tour with Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. Did you keep track of your score? Post it in the comments. Thanks for playing Cluephoria. See you in the next game.